create all the services, right? So as a data engineer, we should create few services in a portal. Using this is a portal, guys, web portal, where you need to create all the required services for your application, right? So how many services Microsoft is offering? Almost 200 plus services, 22 plus categories they're providing. So for each category, we will see what are all the services are associated with that. Okay. And so let's discuss about advantage of using Microsoft Azure, guys. Okay. So we have benefits of Azure. Okay. So as I mentioned, when it compared to the previous maybe on-premises. The benefits of Azure: reduced cost of infrastructure, and the cost of maintaining a local server includes installation and updating and maintaining of dedicated IT staff, right? So it will take a lot of cost is involved, right? So a lot of cost is involved to create the infrastructure. But cloud, it will provide you the, I mean, you don't need to spend a lot of amount on the infrastructure, right? So as pay as you go, it's a pay as you go model. As per the compute power you have utilized, so Microsoft will charge from you, right? So whatever the, for example, if you try to move data from source to target, it took 10 minutes of time, right? So to move maybe a 50 GB of data from source to target, you took 10 minutes of time. Microsoft will charge only for that 10 minutes. They will not charge you whatever the services you are trying to create. For example, if I start creating a data factory service, right? So I start building the pipeline. They never ever charge you for creating the service and building the creating the pipelines. They will charge only while you're trying to run. Okay, while you're trying to run from source to target, right? There should be some data is moving, right? So we also discussed previous session also, right? Only the particular, I mean, whatever the 10 minutes or 20 minutes, only Microsoft will charge from you for the 10 minutes. Okay. So there is no capital expenditure, there is no initial investment, right, for cloud. So but with respect to on premises, everything you have to purchase, right? So you have to update, you have to maintaining, you have to have a dedicated IT staff to maintain the data center, right? So and having a climate control room can be in a very expensive, right? So in the data center, we already have seen that separate rooms to maintain, and AC cooling and everything. There is a lot of cost is involved, and Microsoft Azure basically eliminates the need for physical server and its expenses, physical server or data center and its expenses, right? So you save lot of cost if you can move to Azure cloud, right? Because everything is hosted on the cloud, guys. The server, the physical servers and everything, Microsoft maintaining a huge data centers, and they have lot of physical servers and network cables are associated with this to maintain this data centers. We have network staff as well, right? So we have a network staff, system admins, right? Many people can handle this data centers, right? You can scale resources. Okay, you can scale resources with Microsoft Azure, guys. You only pay what you need. Okay, you only pay what you need. And if business suddenly increases, we can scale the servers to handle the windfall. What it means, as I already gave an example, if you try to purchase anything from any e-commerce website, like Amazon or Flipkart. So sometimes we have big billion days, some Thanksgiving days, Black Friday. So you already aware all these things, right? Suddenly number of users maybe increased, and they try to purchase the items from this Amazon or Flipkart, right? So we have to increase the number of servers, we have to increase the scalability, right? So you cannot see any downtime, you cannot see any downtime if you are trying to access maybe Amazon app. It will take sometime it is browse, if it is loading, you cannot, this is not a good customer experience, right? So you have to maintain that server, and there is no other customer can face this server slow, or if you're not able to access Amazon app, right? So you feel bad, right, about the application. Maybe you can go ahead and purchase maybe on another website also, right? So that's what, so everything is, if business is increases and suddenly the servers underlying infrastructure will start increasing. If suddenly decrease, and you can also decrease that infrastructure. Okay. And ease of accessibility, guys, basically Azure cloud services allow access to your data at any location at any time. Remember this point, guys. So if you want to access, right, if you want to access any service, almost I'm saying 200 plus services, if you want, you can access from anywhere if you have an internet connection. Okay. So but on premises, you have to access only that companies on premises, right? So cloud you can access from anywhere, guys. Ease of accessibility. If you have internet connection, you can browse portal and you can start creating the services. Okay. Data security, guys. Okay. So data security means, data security, we have Azure data centers are some of the most secure, right? They keep your data protected from natural disasters. So what it means, guys, when you try to create any service, right? So you will keep that data in a multiple data centers, guys. Okay. So we have different mechanisms, redundant mechanisms. We have locally redundant storage, we have geo redundant storage, we have zone redundant storage, we have geo zone redundant storage. What is this options, how the replication factor can work, and we can discuss in storage accounts or SQL. We have these options are available, so we'll discuss those. Okay. So even if you lost the data, for example, recent Ukraine, everybody knows that, right? So we have data centers even in Ukraine also, and entire data center we lost, but still Microsoft maintaining the other data centers, right? The data would be replicated across different regions. Even if you lost the data from one region, you can still get back the data from the other regions as well. Okay. So Microsoft maintain this automatically for you. Okay. So but you have to select the options what you need. Okay. So we'll see that what are all the options we need to select in real time, how the data would be replicated across different regions. We'll see that how the redundant option can work. Okay, while creating the service, you can understand, because even if you lost the data, for example, something natural disaster can happen. Even if you lost the data from one data center, right, you can still get back the data from the other data center also, right? So that's what the beauty of this redundant option. And so saves time. The number of hours spent in configuring, planning, installing virtual machines is quite significant, and Microsoft Azure takes minutes to have everything set up in a new Azure virtual machines. So what it means, guys, and it will save us a lot of time, guys. For example, when it goes to the on-premises, right? So you have to set up everything, right? So you have to purchase the VMs, and you have to set up upgrading, patching, maintenance, right? So everything you have to take in care. But in a cloud, guys, within a few minutes you can create an Azure virtual machine. VM you can create it within a few minutes, right? And if you want to create a same virtual machine in on premises, you need to take the lot of approvals, and getting the approvals, and creating a tickets to them, and it will take a lot of time, right? But in cloud, within a few minutes you can create Azure VM, guys. Okay, within a few minutes I'll show you. Okay, how you need to create the VM, I'll show you. Within maybe in 1 or 2 minutes you can create this Azure VM, guys. Okay, let's see. So we have So I can see, guys, Microsoft Azure and 95% of Fortune 500 companies are using now, and $1 billion investment per year to protect from cyber threats, and fastest growing cloud service provider and second largest market share in cloud market, guys. Okay, so start with a free account, guys, and we will see how we need to create a free account, and it's a pay as you go model, and based on your usage Microsoft will charge from you. Okay, so initially Microsoft can provide you $200, guys. Let's see how we can create. This is a portal. Okay, this is a portal, so it's already have an access this portal, but you guys can create a free trial. Okay, so for you to create an account and for you to practice, right, just click on it. Just click on three dots right side, you can see the three dots, and let me open the private window. You can open your Google only. Okay, you can open here itself. Okay, just Google it, that's it. But since I already have the account is placed here, that's the reason I'll open in a private window. Okay, this is my incognito mode or private window. Just click on this new private window. Okay, so now I want to create Azure free account. Okay, so I can see Azure free account. Create your Azure free account. Okay, just click on it. So you can see build in the cloud with an Azure free account, create, deploy, and manage applications across multiple clouds. Okay, on premises and at the edge. So you can connect to the on premises source systems. You can connect to the cloud. Right? Maybe if you want to read data from AWS, right, Amazon Web Services, even from other cloud service providers also, you can still get it. So for you to create, I can see here start free and pay as you go. So since you have maybe an you want to go for pay as you go, generally in a real time we can go for this option. Somebody will create a pay as you go subscription, but if you want to practice, right, you need to use this start free. Okay, so Microsoft, they will provide you $200 per month for you to practice. Okay, and you can utilize that in within a month, and let's see that how we can create that free account. And meanwhile, there are some popular services free for 12 months and 55 plus other services free always. And this is a $200 USD, $200, and Microsoft will provide you. You can do anything. You will have the 30 days to use it all the services. And in addition to that, we have some free services. Okay, 55 plus other services free always. So you want to see all the services, you can also click on this view all the services free, but with a limited capacity. You can create Azure virtual machine with Linux, Azure SQL database with a 250 GB SO instance with 10 database transaction units, and Azure blob storage. This is for 12 months, guys. These are all the services are free for 12 months. And Azure blob storage, 5 GB locally redundant storage, and hot block with 2000 read and 10,000 write operations. What is this, you can understand while we creating the blob storage. Okay, what is this locally redundant storage, LRS? So everything you can understand, guys. Okay, so we have geo redundant storage, zone redundant storage, how the data would be replicated across different data centers. We'll discuss that. I'll show you practically where it is distributed, where the data center is placed, and how this data is replicated also. We'll see that practically in a blob storage. Okay, so what is this, a read and everything, right, everything we can discuss. This is kind of a cloud storage at a high level. It's a storage, cloud storage, where you can ingest any kind of data. Okay, but we can discuss about origin of Azure blob storage, right? So everything we can discuss. And ADLH Gen 2, we have some storage accounts. So Azure Cosmos DB, and Azure Cosmos DB, we have 1000 request unit per second provision throughput with 25 GB storage limited, and Azure App Services, Azure Functions, Azure Event Grid. So these many services we have. Okay, so you can utilize that in a 12-month service. 12 months these services are free. Okay, if you want, you can access it. So view all services free. I can see these are all the services are free, so you can see always, right? So see left side, click on see all the free services, and I can see here there are few services free for 12 months, few services free for always. Okay, so I can see, right? So almost 200 plus services. Out of that, we have few services free, few services for pay as you go subscription. But you can try free services, all the services in $200. Okay, Microsoft is providing you $200 for you to practice. Okay, so for you to create a free account, guys, you need to click on start free. Left side you can see start free. Click on the start free, right? Click on start free, and you can specify any name. Create a new one. You can create new one, right? Create a new one, create a new Outlook. If you already have the account, that's good, because you have the Gmail ID, right? You can also use your Gmail ID. Okay, so if you're not utilize the same Gmail ID for you to created a free account, a Microsoft free account, you can use your Gmail also. If Gmail is not working, right, so you can use create a new one. Okay, so create a new one. Let me show you. Create one. Okay, so create one, just click on create one. You can create the Outlook. So I will create this at the rate of outlook.com. Okay, so click on next. So someone already has this email address, try to pass something else. Okay, so try to pass password. Click on next. So I can see please solve the puzzle so we know you are not a robot. Click on next. Okay, so I can see pick on one square that shows two identical objects. Two identical objects. This one, this one. Okay, so verification is completed now, right? Two identical objects with the same picture. Okay, so I need to see here India, so it will automatically populate it based on the region. You can select here. If you are staying in US, maybe you can, if you want, you can also stay, but I'm staying in India, so I can see it will automatically populate it India, right? So first name you can specify, right? Last name, and I can also, it will automatically populate it, the email address whatever you have specified while creating. So phone number, you can specify the phone number, guys, and text me. So I'll receive a verification code. Even. So verify the code, and you can, no need to specify the PAN card, guys. These are all optional. If you want to specify, you can specify your company details. Okay. So address line one, if you want, you can keep this. Okay. So Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So I agree. Click on next. So you need to click on checkbox I agree. So when you click on next, guys, it will ask your credit card information. Okay. So for you to create a free account, you need phone number, you need email ID, you need credit card. Okay. So initially, if you want, you can try with your debit card. If it is not working, it will show you initially only. While you are entering card number, it will show you initially. If it is not supported, So you need to use in those cases a credit card also. Okay, so I can specify the card number, expiry, CVV, right? So address, right? Everything you can specify and click on sign up. That's it. Okay, once you have entered your credit card information, you can click on sign up so that you will go to the portal. Okay, so this is a portal, guys, where you need to go, and this is my portal, and portal.azure.com, and we'll discuss that. Before coming here, guys, we'll discuss about Azure Data Factory, right? So we'll discuss that, and then we can come here and will discuss each and every service. And so we'll try to create the services in a portal, and we'll try to start implementing the pipelines, right? So let's go back to your PPT. So I can see, guys, Microsoft Azure, they specially categorized all the services, almost 200 plus services. And we generally, if you want to purchase anything from any market, right? If you want to go to supermarket, they'll categorize all the products, right? So even in a cloud also, guys. So Microsoft categorized all this under almost 22 categories. Okay, so what we can do here, so if you want to create any service, right? I want to create an Azure Data Factory, or I want to create an Azure Databricks, I want to create Azure Storage, I want to create Azure SQL database, I want to create Azure Keyword Service. So if you want to create any service, right, we generally organize these services, guys. Okay, in real time under the Microsoft Azure. So if you want to take this subscription, right, so I can see here tenant in the sense client. Okay, so we have, for example, I work under Microsoft, or I work under Chevron. For example, Chevron, I'll take it. We'll have different kinds of business functions, guys. We have supply and trading, we have sales and product management, and Chevron have finance, HR, right? Different kinds of business functions. For each business function, they will create a separate subscription to organize these resources. Okay, so under the supply and trading, for example, I can see here free trial. Why I kept here free trial? For you to create maybe first time, it will show you the free trial only, right? So that's the reason we can see that free trial. Under the free trial, we can see the list of services, right? We have some resource groups, and under the resource group, we'll further organize all these resources. Okay, so for each a subscription, we'll keep all the services, right? So we have Azure Data Factory, we have a storage account, we have SQL database, we have keyword service. All these services are associated, and we'll organize all the services. Okay, so for HR, we have a separate subscription. For supply and trading, we have a separate subscription. We have finance, we have a separate subscription. So for all the subscriptions, we'll keep all our services like this, guys. Okay, so for each subscription, we'll further categorize it into resource groups. For each resource group, we have a separate resources. Okay, so this is how we need to organize all our resources. We will see, guys, how you need to create this resource group, and how you need to create these services, okay, our resources in a cloud going forward. So under the client, you will have multiple subscriptions. Okay, under the Microsoft, we have a number of clients are using Microsoft Azure, right? So under the each client, so we have a separate subscriptions based on business function. Okay, customer Chevron is an oil and gas company. They have different business functions, right? They have sales and product management, and they have supply and trading, they have finance, HR, admin. So they have different departments, right? For each department, they have a separate subscriptions. Okay, so I can see here only free trial and other subscription, but in real time with this free trial place, we'll have that supply and trading subscription, right? So we'll have sales and product management subscription, right? And one more thing, guys, I want to make sure that, so you have different environments, right? So you have a dev and test production, you have different environments in real time. So for lower environments, always we have a separate subscription. For production, we have a separate subscription. Okay, sometimes for each environment, we have a separate subscription also. Okay, So for dev we have a separate subscription, for test we have a separate subscription, for production, because the resources are differs, right, for each subscription. So we need to, dev resources are different, test resources are different, production resources are different, we need to categorize, right? That is the reason we'll create this subscription, and we'll further categorize all these subscriptions into different resource group. We have dev resource group, we have test resource group, we have production resource groups. Okay, so this is how we need to organize our resources, guys. Okay, so let's discuss about one of the service, Azure Data Factory. Okay, till now we discussed about Microsoft Azure, and we discussed about the real-time use case, why we are trying to move to Azure cloud, and we also discussed about what is Azure, right? So how you need to create the services as a data engineer, what are all the activities you need to take in care, right? Step by step process we can discuss, guys, going forward. Okay, so how you need to connect to the source, right? And how you need to create the pipelines for you to move from source to target. Okay, so each and every step, step by step we can discuss, guys, so that you can practice everything. Since ADF is a code free tool, you no need to worry about any coding here, just drag and drop. Okay, so we'll discuss sequential, and how you need to create the pipelines in Azure Data Factory, and what if, first of all, what is Data Factory, right? And how you need to create an Azure Data Factory, and when we should create this Azure Data Factory, right? We'll discuss that each and everything. So what is the architecture of Azure Data Factory also we'll discuss. Okay, so Azure Data Factory, guys, it's an ETL service. Okay, so in current market, guys, you can see many ETL services are migrating to Azure Data Factory. There are plenty of openings in Azure Data Factory in the future, guys, because all ETL services like Informatica, Data Stage, SSIS, Talent, they're moving their jobs to Azure Data Factory. Okay, there are plenty of lucrative reasons for that, guys. So I'll explain going forward why we are moving to Azure Data Factory, and what is Azure Data Factory in the sense, if it is fully managed by Microsoft, guys. Okay, so it's a serverless infrastructure. Basically, we don't have any server. We have a serverless infrastructure. The underlying infrastructure, everything is taken care by Microsoft. Underlying infrastructure, everything is taken care by Microsoft. The reason behind, it's a PaaS service, platform as a service. Okay, you no need to worry about underlying infrastructure. Instead, you can focus on your data and application, right? That's what I have explained previously. All services, IaaS, PaaS and SaaS services. Azure Data Factory is a PaaS service, platform as a service. It's a serverless infrastructure, right? So you no need to worry about underlying infrastructure. Everything is managed by Microsoft. Okay, and what is the use of Azure Data Factory, guys? You have to, you can, using Azure Data Factory service, I can ingest the data. I can connect to the variety of source systems. Since Azure Data Factory, we have ready-made connectors are available, guys. Okay, if you want to connect to the database, or if you want to connect to the SFTP server, or if you want to connect to the FTP server, or if you want to connect to the NoSQL databases, or any source system, if you want to connect, we have some ready-made connectors are available in Azure Data Factory. Okay, we'll discuss each and every connector. I'll show you guys while creating a link service, right? So how you need to establish a connection to our source or target, we'll see that practically. Okay, so at a high level, what is Azure Data Factory? You simply connect to the source system, and read data from source systems, and ingest the data into cloud, and transform the data as per your business requirement. So transformation in the sense, so you need to transform the data, guys, as per your business requirement. You don't want as it is to be loaded into the target, right? You have to do some data cleansing, right? So you need to do some data transformations as per your business rules, and finally load the data into target mission, right? So we'll see step by step how you need to connect to that source system, how you need to establish a connection, right? So we'll discuss some terminology is there, so you can clearly understand going forward how you need to connecting to your source system, how you need to move data from source to target. Okay, so simply, guys, I'm saying as a data engineer, you need to collect the data from variety of the source systems. You need to transform the data as per your business requirement, and finally load the data into target. Okay, so this is what as a data engineer you should aware. Okay, so this is what exactly your roles and responsibilities once you start working at a very high level. Okay, so we'll discuss how you need to collect the data and how you need to ingest the data, how you need to transform the data as per your business requirement, and how you need to load data finally into some storage. Okay, so as per your business, everything is provided by customer only. As per your business requirement, you can do all these things. Okay, going forward, you can see step by step process how exactly you can move data from source to target. And final, again I'm saying guys, while you to move data from source to target, you no need to write any single piece of code here. You can simply drag and drop, you can simply create a pipelines and you can move the data to the target. Okay, so these are all the tasks we can do. What can you do in Azure Data Factory? I can copy data and I can also transform data. Okay, so Azure Data Factory guys came into picture in 2018. Okay, Azure Data Factory came into Microsoft released in 2018. Azure Data Factory version 2. Version 1 was released in 2014 and 15 only, but later there was a lot of limitations. Lot of limitations we have. A lot of drawbacks we have in Azure Data Factory version 1, and Microsoft released Azure Data Factory version 2. Okay, version 2. Nowadays everyone is using Azure Data Factory version 2 only, because version 1 is already deprecated. They deleted this version 1, no longer is existed. Version 1 is no longer exist. So now Azure Data Factory version 2, there is lot of new features are included. Okay, one of the biggest feature they were added in Azure Data Factory version 2 guys, SSIS package execution. Many people heard SSIS packages, right? It's an also an ETL service. You can directly run your SSIS packages in Azure cloud, in Azure Data Factory. Okay, we have lift and shift mechanism, and we can also modify those SSIS packages in Azure as well. We can see that practically how you can move data, how you can move packages, right? What are all the different ways to move packages to cloud, and how exactly you can execute those packages in ADF, right? We'll also discuss, because even SSIS SQL Server also is managed by Microsoft only, right? But it's an on-premises, right? Microsoft SQL Server, it's a Microsoft product only, right? So that is the reason they are providing this feasibility. Okay, so we'll also see all going forward practically how exactly you can run this SSIS packages, what are all the things you need to install, what are all the things you need to create in ADF for you to execute these packages. Okay, and control flow activities and connectors, they are increasing in Azure Data Factory version 2, right? So there are many features guys nowadays, because Microsoft is keep on updating their features, right? So Azure Data Factory side. So in future guys, everyone, no one can using their on premises, because everyone can move to the Azure Data Factory, because they're still that almost in maybe in next maybe 1 or 2 months, you will also see the one of the biggest future Apache Airflow. Okay, so Microsoft is even adding that. Many businesses, believe me guys, they are moving to Azure Data Factory, because there are plenty of reasons, plenty of features. Okay, new features Microsoft is trying to implement. Okay, so near future guys, everyone can move to Azure Data Factory, and since it is a drag and drop, you no need to worry about the coding and all. It's a code free tool completely. Okay, so Microsoft, they always drive for code free guys. Okay, so where you can expect less coding. If you want to see any Microsoft product, they're almost a drag and drop where you can expect less coding guys. Okay, because when you go for less coding guys, what will happen? Productivity will increase, right? So every customer, what you can, I mean, what customer can think guys, they can so, I mean they can, they always need to think in productivity, they always need to think cost, they always need to think performance, right? These three terms, base terms. Okay, but for any product, if you want to go to any product, these three terms are mandatory. Okay, so first one is a performance, security, and one more thing, cost. Okay, so every customer guys, they'll think about the productivity, cost, performance, right? So you can using Azure Data Factory service guys, it was started in 2018, Data Factory version 2. Okay, people are start using this Azure Data Factory version 2 in most of applications, and transform the data. You can also transform the data using Azure Data Factory service. But in 2019, we have the mapping data flows is one of the concept from Microsoft side, where we can do all transformation logic in the mapping data flows. Okay, so you can copy the data and you can transform the data. Everything is incorporated in Azure Data Factory only. All your transformation, all the copy data, everything is code free tool only, guys. No need to write any piece of code here. Okay, so what are all the components are associated with this, right? So Azure Data Factory we are talking, but what are all the high level concepts, right? What are all components are associated with this? So we have pipelines, activities, data sets, link services. So these are all the basic components are associated with Azure Data Factory, because these are all very important. Okay, these are all basic building blocks of Azure Data Factory for you to create a pipeline. Okay, so we'll discuss about what is link service, what is activities, what is data sets, what is pipelines. Okay, so link service means, guys, last one is a link service, right? Link service is nothing but establish a connection to your source. Okay, so if you want to transfer some items, right? So if you want to transfer some items, maybe from Hyderabad to maybe US, and what you can do, you can reach out to any courier partner, like we have international couriers, right? So we have Garuda, so we have one of the courier service, right? You can just call him, and maybe a manager, and what he can arrange maybe a delivery. Whoever is coming to your location, he will arrange a person, and he will call you, and you need to share the address, right? If you do not share the address, how we can come to your location, right? So first step here, you need to authenticate, right? So whatever the person is coming to your way or your home, so you need to share the address just for authentication. Okay, so then he will come to your location, then he will pack all the items, right? So whatever the items you want to transfer, he can pack all the items. We call it as a data setup. Okay, so here link service is nothing but establish a connection to source. Terminology wise, it initially it is bit when you try to practice, you can habituate with these terms, guys. Initially it is bit difficult to understand the terminology, but going forward, when you start practicing anything, so you can experience, so you can habituate with the terms, right? Any technology, guys, even if I start moving any technology, even the terminology would differ initial stage, and maybe later point of time you can habituate with these terms, and once you start practicing. Okay, so linked service is nothing but establish a connection. Okay, for example, guys, if I want to move data, okay, so this is my source, this is my target. Okay, so I want to move data. For example, I have even any items. Okay, so for example, I want to move data, move some items, right? So Hyderabad. Okay, so this is in Hyderabad, and this is a US. So I want to transfer some items, right? I have item one, item two, item three. Okay, so I have three items, and I want to transfer three items to US. Okay, so I can see here, so I want to move all the item one, item two, item three to target. So if I want to move item one, item two, item three, if I want to transfer to US, right? So I need to talk to the delivery person, right? So I need to talk to maybe an, for example, I want to reach out to Garuda. Okay, is a international courier service. Garuda, Garuda Vega. Okay, so I've reached them through phone, and they'll arrange a person. So maybe I have reached out to manager. Okay, and he will arrange a person, right? So, and he the delivery boy. Okay, he'll arrange a delivery boy, and he will call you. Okay, and he will just need to authenticate, right? What is your first step here? So he will authenticate. First step here, he will authenticate. Okay, he will authenticate your location. Once if he needs to come to your location, you need to share the address, right? So that is what an authenticate. Okay, then once you have shared that address and he will come to your location, then he will pack all these items. Okay, he will pack all the items. Second step here, collect all items, right? Then even target side also, guys, target side also, he need, after collecting the items, right? So he needs to authenticate with same. If you want to deliver, right, if you want to deliver all these items, he needs to authenticate same for us also. You need to, I mean, some other person will talk to the target person, and he will authenticate the address. Okay, and authenticate your third step, and then he will deliver to target. Okay, deliver delivered to the target. So delivered items. Okay, so this is your fourth step. So for you to move, right, so all these items, you need some vehicle, right? So maybe some maybe in planes, right? So they will transfer all these items to target location, right? So these are all the step by step process, guys. Authenticate, so we can call it as this pipeline. Okay, some courier service. Okay, like we can talk about planes, right? So through planes we can be able to transfer all this item 1, item 2, item 3 to target. Okay, so let's discuss about the real time, guys. I mean, some use case. Okay, these are all general terms where I have explained now, and how you need to transfer the item, but you can correlate with that whatever I'm going to teach you now. Okay, so let's, so I have this. So I have, this is my source DB, guys. Okay, so I want to, this is my, for example, SQL database. Okay, so many people heard this database, right? SQL database, and this is my cloud storage. Okay, so like blob storage. So this is a cloud, and this is an my another SQL database. Okay, so this is my source and this is my target, and I have some tables here. Okay, I have some database, right? Generally we have some table 1, table 2, table 3. Okay, so for you to move table 1, table 2, table 3 to target blob storage, what is your first step here? You need to authenticate, right? You need to establish a connection to your source, guys. Okay, for that, what you need to do, you need to create a linked service. Okay, first step here, create a linked service. And your second step here, create a data set, because once you have established a connection to your source SQL DB, you need to read all the tables, table 1, table 2, table 3. For that, you need to create a data set. Second step here, create a data set, right? And if I want to move this data to target, right, I have to create another authentication, I mean linked service, right? So your third step here, create a linked service for target as well. Okay, target is blob storage. I need to authenticate. So then I have to create data set. Again, I have to create another data set, guys. The reason behind, I need to write, I need to write into blob storage, right? Data set. So practically we can see how you can create this. So I've created link service data set for both source and target. This is my source SQL DB and target is blob storage. And for you to move data, where you can create this link service data sets and everything in data factory, guys. Okay. So in shortcut ADF, Azure Data Factory. Okay, so here we can use Azure Data Factory, guys, for you to move data from SQL DB to blob storage. And I can first authenticate. I need to create a link service to establish a connection to my source. And second step here, create a data set to read all the tables, table 1, table 2, table 3. And the third step here, create a link service even for a target, because I need to connect to the target machine. And I'll create a data set and specify the path where I want to load the data. Okay, so I can even specify that. Even if you can take it as a small your laptop, guys, right? So if you want to move data from one folder to another folder, what you need to do, you just need to select the items, right? Select the files, whatever you want to move. And if you have any maybe in folder level restrictions, you need to authenticate again, right? You need to authenticate, and you need to specify some username and password, right? And then you need to read all the files from the respective folder and then move it to the cloud, right? So even, I mean, cloud or any other target folder, you need to specify the target path, right, where you want to ingest those tables, right? So this is what link service data set. So using data factory service, I can move from SQL DB to blob storage, right? So these are all nothing but you have trying to connect and you are trying to read. So but how you need to transfer, how you need to transfer, right? Your fifth step here, create a pipeline. So using pipeline, we can use activities. Okay, so if you want to move table 1, table 2, table 3 to target, I can use inside a pipeline. We have a couple of activities like copy activity, right? We have so how you need to use these activities, we can discuss. Get metadata, lookup activity for it, delete, validation, if condition. There are a number of activities are there. Okay, we'll see that how we need to use this activity, nothing but an action or processing step. Okay, what is an action you are trying to perform here? You are trying to move data from your SQL DB to blob storage. Okay, so using pipeline is nothing but it's a logical grouping of activities. What are all the activities? We have a copy activity. You can move data. Copy activity just for data movement from source to target, from SQL DB to blob storage. Okay, so we have a couple of activities like that, and Microsoft they categorized into uh, three different parts. And one is for data movement activities, and we have control flow activities, we have transformation activities. Okay, we'll see how we need to use this in our pipeline, all these activities, and based on that how you need to create a pipeline, so we can discuss going forward. Okay, so this is very high level, guys. Okay, so we'll discuss a couple of activities also. And for you to move data table 1, table 2, table 3 to target blob storage, right? So you need some compute power, right? So even if you want to move data from your laptop to maybe your friend laptop, you need some network, you need some storage, you need some memory, right, where you need to ingest the data, right? So for that we can use integration runtime, guys. Okay, so compute power is a need when you try to move data from SQL DB to blob storage. We call it as integration runtime. Okay, so we have three types of integration runtimes, guys. For this we have Azure SS, Azure IR, Azure integration runtime, Azure IR. We have self-hosted IR. This is a bit advanced, guys. I'll explain. We have SSS IR. Okay, so Azure IR means, so when you try to move data from cloud to cloud or any public network to cloud, you can use Azure IR. Okay, when you try to connect to the on-premises systems, right, maybe an your SQL server, maybe one of a database is hosted on your Infosys network. Okay, you are working on Infosys and it's hosted on Infosys network, and you want to move a data to the cloud, right? In those cases, you need to install the self-hosted integration runtime. So SSIR, when you try to execute your SSIS packages, on-premises SSIS packages, you need to create this SSIR in your ADF. Okay, so we'll see practically how you need to create. But on a high level, integration runtime, basically it will provide you the compute infrastructure, and it is used by Azure Data Factory. Okay, it is used by Azure Data Factory, guys. So this is very high level, guys, and we'll discuss step by step process in after creating the Azure Data Factory service, how you need to use this each and every component, right? So link service is one component and data set is another component, right? How exactly you need to create and how you need to establish a connection to source, and reading the file from source, and writing, establishing a connection to the target, right? So everything we can discuss going forward. Okay, so try to understand with very high level. We'll discuss again step by step practically going forward. Okay. So this is a portal, guys, and before enter into this portal, in tomorrow session I'll explain about why we are learning and what is the architecture of Azure Data Factory, because you need to understand more in depth, guys, okay, about Azure Data Factory. So what is an architecture, and when we should use an Azure Data Factory, and why we need to use an Azure Data Factory, since we have many ETL services and on-premises, right? So we'll also discuss that, so that you will get a complete picture on that. Okay, so what is an Azure Data Factory, what exactly you are learning, right? So everything you can understand about an Azure Data Factory. Okay, so any questions, guys, till now? Hello?
I'm good, Suresh.
Yeah. So if you don't have any questions, guys, please try to create a free account. If you have any questions while creating a free account, please let me know. I'll connect one-on-one, guys. So even while practicing, guys, if you have any questions, right? So if you have any issues, I'll connect with one-on-one. So we'll resolve in a call itself. Okay. So you can also ping me personally if you have any other doubts. I'll talk to you. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, guys, we'll wind up the session and we'll connect again same time tomorrow. Okay. Thank
Yep.
you all, guys, for
Thanks. Thank you.
have a
Thank you,
good day.
Suresh.
Hi, Suresh. This is Shekhar. Hello.
Yes, Shekhar. Yes, Shekhar.
Yes, there is in a three IRs, right? Azure Integration IR, Self-Hosted IR, and
Correct.
SSIS
Correct.
IR. Yes,
Yeah.
in that part, whenever we have to use different IRs, is there, right? When we use self integration runtime, and when we have to use Azure Integration runtime.
Yeah, so that we can understand, that you can understand going forward, guys. Practically Azure IR we can use when you try to move data from cloud to cloud, or any public network to cloud, or if your source system is hosted on any virtual network. For example, you want to use a private endpoint, or you want to create a managed virtual network for your source, and connecting securely instead of using a public endpoint, you can create a private endpoint, guys. Public means because it's everyone can access your storage, everyone can access your source, right? Inside a cloud itself, we can create a managed virtual network for you to connect securely to your source system with a private IP address or private link. Okay, that you can see
Okay.
practically, where you can see this using a private IP address to securely connecting to your source system from Azure Data Factory. Okay, so you can move data from cloud to cloud, and any managed virtual network, right? So if your source system is hosted, you can use Azure IR, and if you do not want to move your data to another geographical region, you can still use as Azure IR, Azure Integration Runtime. Okay, so or any public network, right? If there is any public network, so you can also use Azure IR. But self-hosted IR you can use If you want to connect to the private endpoint, sorry, if you want to connect to the private network, right, it's an on-prem network, so you can use self-hosted IR. Or if you want to even move data from cloud to cloud also, you can still use self-hosted, but we have some restrictions. I'll show you. If your source system is hosted on a virtual network, or if your source system is on premises, we can use self-hosted integration runtime, because this is a huge concept, guys. Okay, again, you have to understand many things, and based on volume of data, how you need to improve the performance of your pipeline, and how you need to increase the number of nodes, what scenarios, and how you need to link this SHR to multiple data factories, how you need to share the set of resources to multiple data factories. So there are a lot of concepts are involved here, this self-hosted IR. How you need to install, and why we need to install in on-prem VM, why we need to install in Azure VM, right? There are many things, guys, for self-hosted IR where you need to understand, because these things are very, very important in real time. Okay, that is the reason I'll insist more on this topics going forward, guys, while explaining this integration runtime concept. But at a very high level, what you need to understand, integration runtime is a concept. Basically, it will provide you the compute infrastructure. Compute infrastructure means network, right, storage, memory. So all these are comes under compute infrastructure, and it is used by Azure Data Factory.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you all, guys. If you don't have any questions, you can also talk to me personally, guys, if you have any questions. Okay, thank you all, guys, have a great day.